It's time for Manny the Movie Guy Show. Today's guest, the fabulous Trini Lopez, and his partner, the one and only Joe Chavira. Let Manny be your guide, because we're going worldwide. And here's Manny.
So it's an honor to talk to you guys. And you, Mr. Trini, we have a legendary icon in our very own backyard. Our own gem of the desert.
Thank you. I was born and raised in Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas, Texas, which is about 2 or 3 hours from Wichita Falls.
Okay.
And I was working there, and that's where I got my first person to try to help me with my career, Buddy Holly.
Oh, Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was doing an interview like this for his new record, That'll Be the Day, one of his big hits. And a friend of mine was a disc jockey there, and after they finished the interview, my friend said to Buddy, would you like to go hear a friend of mine who's appearing in one of the nightclubs here in Wichita Falls? And Wichita Falls is a small town, very small. I think you'll enjoy him. He plays the guitar and he sings, and I think he's pretty good. And Buddy was a real nice person. Buddy Holly was a real down-to-earth person. He said, sure, man, you're kidding? So he said, let's go, you know. So they went and saw my show, and after the show, he wanted to meet me. So they went into my dressing room, and Buddy was just so gracious and so nice. And he said, you got to meet my record producer. You're not recording, are you? I said, no. He said, I want you to meet my record producer. I'd like to get you a record contract. Can you believe it?
Wow. At what age? 15, right?
I was about 18,
18, okay.
17.
So, wow. You're like the Justin Bieber of the time.
There was another person that wanted to help me, Sinatra.
Oh, we're Frank Sinatra.
He gave me a contract for 8 years on his record company, Reprise Records.
Reprise Records.
And that's when I got all those hits.
Ooh, if I had a hammer in the morning, a hammer in the evening.
If I had a
If I had a hammer, yeah.
Yeah.
La Bamba.
La Bamba. Oh, and also after all those countless hits, you even starred in some films. Most notably was The Dirty Dozen.
The bramble bush is lovely.
The song The Bramble Bush,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
a bit about your Hollywood story.
Okay, the Bramble Bush, they wanted me to sing in a movie that they wanted me to be in, The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they wrote that song for me, and it was a pretty good hit for me. It was a big success as a single. Well, my first picture Sinatra put me in was a movie called Marriage on the Rocks.
Okay.
That was with him, starring Sinatra, Dean Martin,
Yeah.
Deborah Kerr, and Nancy Sinatra Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marriage on the Rocks is all in fun.
Tell us quickly the genesis of how you ended up here in the Valley.
Sinatra, because of Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Yeah. Sinatra wants us to party with him because he lives in Palm Springs also.
Yeah.
You know, Rancho Mirage, which is about 8 minutes by car.
Yeah.
And I said, you kidding? I've always loved Frank Sinatra.
And it was your mentor.
It was my
really?
mentor. He ended up being my mentor.
Yeah. And so because of him, you moved here to the desert and never left.
I think so. Yeah, you know, at that time, everybody was moving here because of Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Lawford.
Okay, Peter Love, yeah.
About a block from my house, and half a block from my house, Elvis.
Wow.
I mean, all these people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when was this about?
In the 60s, 68, around there. 66, 67.
When you first started?
When I started coming here.
Okay.
And I bought my house here in 67.
No media spotlight. The cops were very friendly. Everything that someone who's going to call himself a swinger could possibly want in Palm Springs.
Mr. Sinatra was Mr. Palm Springs. He made this town. It was like magic.
It's almost the same story. That he said, I just wanted to see Frank, and he ended up working with him.
Yep.
I just wanted to see him at the Indian Wells Resort, and ended up being a songwriter with him. We're like family, we business partners, and everything. We've really gotten like brothers. And where people say Sinatra discovered Trini now people say Trini discovered me. So I met Trini, and the fun short story is, if you know the Indian Wells Resort, there's a white grand piano.
A big lobby.
He walks up and he goes with all of his friends and he says something, I heard you write music, and I said, yeah, and he said, play one.
Right there,
Like,
on the spot.
there's no microphone, it wasn't even open, the piano, so I bellowed out a song and people clapped, and he goes, Then he leans on the piano and he goes, uno mas.
One more.
So I played a second song, and then he slipped me $5 million in my pocket. He gave me his phone number. He says, hey, maybe we could do some stuff, some original songs.
Yeah.
You know, we've done a lot.
We both play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe plays great piano. Tell him all the instruments you play, Joe.
My dad taught me drums when I was 7. If drummers out there, that you hold a drumstick like this when you're jazz, that like your rock. So I listened to a lot of albums, and one of them was Trini Lopez when I was a little kid. My dad said, listen to Trini Lopez. So I'd sing, if I had a hammer, what he'd do, play to his songs. Then I'd go to Pasadena, my grandma had a piano, and I taught myself to play the piano.
Yeah.
And then grabbed a guitar somewhere in between that and started to teach myself to sing, write music. But the lessons basically came off of Trini listening to his albums. And then to think I'd ever meet him, I wouldn't think that happened.
Tell us about Sri Lanka.
The phone keeps ringing, and this particular offer was great, and I couldn't turn it down.
42 hours on a plane.
Wow.
21 hours up, 21 back. He got the call, they wanted Trini, and it was neat because we got to display original songs along with his classics.
Yeah.
But people, you know, it's Trini's great standards, and then he surprises everybody and says, hey, I got new materials, 48 original songs written by the two of us, and we played one, and it's on video. It's Trini Lopez, Joe Chavira live on YouTube. 20,000 people like Beatlemania screaming as we're singing the song.
Let's take a holiday. Let's take a holiday.
TriniLopezMusic.net and JoeChaviraMusic.com.
They honored me with my guitar that I designed about 1968, 1970. Two, not only one guitar, but I designed 2 guitars for Gibson Corporation.
Wow.
And everybody is playing my guitar.
Yeah.
Let me tell you some of the people, you won't believe it.
They're plucking your strings.
I wish there were women doing that. Okay, so people like David Grohl of the Foo Fighters loves my guitar.
Yes.
And Bono, his guitar player.
Yeah.
And Paul McCartney.
And Paul McCartney is Wings guy. Trini Lopez Gibson guitars.
No, Mr. Trini, you're one of the few, one of the really first Latino Americans to make it big in show business. Tell us, how does it feel? I mean, you have created such an impact in the Latino community.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. And when I first started, people asked me, was it difficult? And I have to be honest, because growing up in Dallas, Texas, at that time, the people were very prejudiced.
Yes.
Very prejudiced.
Yes.
And I remember very distinctively, all of the Latinos at that time in Texas, we were treated like the blacks, the same way, maybe worse. And I remember having to sit in the back of the bus and all of that. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So it took me longer to become successful, even though it was pretty fast, but it could have been faster. People ask me, where did you get started in California? And I got started at a nightclub that I used to hear Frank Sinatra went there all the time. I said, I gotta work at this place, PJ's, because I used to hear that Frank Sinatra, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, they were all going to this place.
Yeah.
On Santa Monica Boulevard and Crescent Heights, right off the strip in Hollywood. And so, by the grace of God, man, by the grace of God, I got booked into PJ's.
Yeah.
They heard that I was doing real well in Beverly Hills. So they booked me for 3 months, and I stayed a year and a half.
Wow.
And it was there that I started seeing Frank Sinatra come in with his gang, you know. And he used to come in with a head like this, one of these, and dressed real nice with his jewelry and everything. And I used to just look at him, you know. And I was doing my shows. And then on my intermission, I would just try to get as close as I could to just look at him. Just to look at him. I would have been happy to just say to the world, I saw Frank Sinatra, and I would have been thrilled. But by the grace of God, man, he became my best friend for 36 years.
Isn't that amazing? You were just a fan once upon a time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Never thinking that he would sign me up to his record company, Reprise.
He'll play a big part of in your career. Didn't you have, it's one of your biggest records, right? Trini at PJ's.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They wanted me to record. They gave me the contract and everything, and they said, okay, Trini, we're going to record first here. I said, where? He said, here at PJ's. And I said, I was kind of disappointed. I said, PJ's here? We want to capture all of the excitement that you are creating here in this nightclub. We want to put it on wax.
Yeah.
And well, that made sense.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay. I said, all right. More Trini Lopez at PJ's.
Yeah. Wow.
And I've got 82 albums out.
Yeah.
And my first one is the biggest.
Aww.
And the last one will be too.
And the last one will be
Now
too.
we're going to do many of them.
All three of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holiday. Sing it. Let's take a holiday. Louder. Again. Let's take a holiday. Yeah. Pack up and get away. Let's take a holiday. Don't you?
Yeah. Let's take a Call Me the Holiday.
Holiday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Manny. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! Thank you so much. Good luck on everything, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.